On a daily basis, I receive loads of questions from many folks who have watched my YouTube videos or who are just going to try and get started with Tonex about certain aspects of how the product works. So I wanted to do a video today starting right from scratch and getting folks up and running with Tonex regardless of which level of software they have. And we're going to start today with the free Tonex CS software and build from there. And I hope what I cover today answers a lot of the questions that folks have about the whole Tonex ecosystem, and also maybe help some folks who've had more experience with Tonex who just don't realize certain things work certain ways with it. So without further ado, let's dive right over to Tonex and take a look and see if we can't clear up a lot of these questions that I receive on a regular basis. All right, so the first thing that anybody's going to want to do that's getting started with Tonex, or maybe even just started with IK Multimedia, is you're going to want to head over to the IK Multimedia website. We're going to go up to the top right corner, this little man icon, click that, and it's going to give us the option to create an account. Now, I mean, if you already have an account, then you would just log in. But let's start from the place where somebody doesn't even have an account. We hit create account, and it gives us the option again, either as a registered user to log in or to head over to the new user section and put in all of our information, and then we'll register. Now, let's say we have done that and we're now logged in. What we want to do is head up to the support tab, and you're going to see that there's an option to go over to IK Product Manager. This is going to be the piece of software for Windows or Mac that you are going to want to download on your computer. This is where we're going to manage all of our license and have access to all of the products that we own from IK Multimedia. So we want to select the appropriate download and have that installed. Now, once you have that installed, you're going to be prompted to log in with your IK username. So that's going to be the account that you just created over on the IK Multimedia site. So I'm going to do that right now with my credentials. And once you've logged in, you will see something very similar to this. This is going to be all the software, the sounds, and the hardware that you own that has been registered with IK Multimedia. So let's head over to the software tab. You can see I don't have very much. I get all the same things that anybody who first signs up here. I've opened a separate account for this video so that I could show you what you'll get. So we have all of these particular pieces of software. We're interested for this video in Tonex. You'll notice it gives us Tonex CS. This is the free version of Tonex. Now, if I didn't have this installed already, you would come over here and install it, much like you see on these other products that I haven't installed. I could just click here, hit install, and it's going to install that particular piece of software. I already obviously have Tonex installed, so that's going to pop up as you see it here. I could reinstall it, but there's no purpose for this video. So we know that we're up and running now with Tonex CS, so we're going to head over to Tonex. So this is what you'll see once you have Tonex installed. Now, one question that I get from a lot of folks is that they just can't get any sound out of it. Well, the first thing you're going to want to do once you have this loaded up and opened is head up to the top right little hamburger button up here, and that's going to be our settings. And we have audio settings. You'll notice that I have to set the proper audio interface. So if I come down here to the output device, I have choices from my Mac Mini speakers or my Line 6 Helix, which I have hooked up, or my Asus monitor, which also has speakers. And my input devices could either be the two audio interfaces that I have hooked up, which would either be my Line 6 Helix, but for today's video, I'm going to be utilizing my Motu Ultralight Mark V. So that's set there. Mic line instrument in 1 is going to be where I have my guitar plugged into. This instrument input is going to be the instrument input of the audio interface that you assign, and we would want our guitar plugged into that. Output device is going to be the speakers or the system we're going to be monitoring on, depending on your setup. So again, I've chosen the proper audio interface. Now I'm set to left and right monitor outs as line out 9 and 10. That's my audio interface's loop back outputs, because I am going to be capturing this for the purpose of this video inside of Cubase. So I have to have those set there. But for yourself, you may have this set as main out 1 and main out 2 for these if you were working in a normal configuration. Your buffer size is going to basically control the latency you're going to feel. The lower the setting, the less latency you're going to feel when you play, but it's going to tax your CPU a little bit more. Obviously, if we had this set up around 2048 or up there, it's going to almost be unplayable. So I like to have it down 3264 if possible, but get this as low as you can before you start hearing maybe clicks and pops on your system. All right, so great. So we're all set with that. And what you'll see now here in Tonex CS is if I come over to my little filters and info panel here down in the bottom left, I can minimize that right down here by dragging it down, or I can drag the little curtain up. Let's say I had a bunch of user folders here. They might not be visible with this pulled up, so I can pull it down out of the way. But for now, we're going to basically turn off the owned only, and we'll go into the filters. I don't have any filters set right now, and you'll notice that you basically have 20 tone models here with the free Tonex CS that are usable. And then we get to the bottom of those first 20 and we see that these are grayed out. These are not tone models that we own. If we click on those, it's going to give us the option to either try them or buy them. And you notice here it says this tone model is included in the following Tonex versions, Tonex Max. Upgrade your Tonex version to get hundreds of tone models, including this one with unlimited access, or try this tone model for free without noise for 30 minutes. So the nice thing is we can try these out and sample these before buying them. If we do decide to buy it, we would click on this and you'll notice it takes us to the product page where we can choose to buy Tonex Max right now. And you see there's a great deal on it at the time I'm shooting this video. It's down from $300 down to $100. So that's a really wonderful sale, which obviously depending on when you access this may or may not still be accessible. So we can try it or we could just purchase them, but we do have these free tone models to try things out. Now, the other thing I can filter is just owned only so that I only see the tone models that are included and that I have. Now, the nice thing about Tonex CS is we can do a couple things. We're allowed to import 20 other tone models, whether it's from ToneNet, which we'll talk about in a moment, or from a third-party vendor such as myself. So we click on the ToneNet button, it connects us to ToneNet, and this is where we can go through. You see there's 31,479 results. I could scroll through those, or I could search for a particular tone model creator. I can come up here, I'll choose creator in the settings, and let's just search for my name. And what this is going to do is you're going to find any of the free tone models that I have up on ToneNet. So you could try those out. You can click these, load the tone model, give it a listen with the sound samples. Now, if I see one here that I like, I could hit the download button, and that's going to download that into my library. I could then click out of ToneNet, and you'll notice that I now have this particular tone model here in my list. I could decide to add some of the new reverb that we got in the latest update, or I could add some delay. So I now have that particular model that was downloaded from ToneNet. Now, the limitation for Tonex CS is that I'm only going to be able to do that for 20 tone models with the free version. And that's lifetime tone models. So if I import 20 into Tonex CS and then decide, oh, I'm going to delete some, it doesn't reset your 20. You're still going to be stuck with just the 20. This is also going to apply if I come over to, let's say, a third-party tone model, such as something from a collection you could get from my website. I can drag and drop that into here. It's going to load up, but it's going to count towards my 20 total tone models. So again, I've dragged and dropped that in there. Still have the other one I downloaded from. So now I've added in two of my 20 tone models. Well, let's say that I added in a lot more than that. Added 16 more, and let's go and try to add another. Now, you'll notice something happen here. It says you've reached the limit of tone models you can store with Tonex CS. Press OK to upgrade and increase your limit. So when I do that, again, it takes me over to the purchase page where I can download the full-blown Tonex Max. So basically now I've imported all of these different tone models and I've maxed out my 20 free ones. So any other ones that I try and drag in here, which is one means of importing, tells me I'm not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. What if somebody's done this with Tonex CS? Well, there is another option. We could come up to the Collections tab up here in the top right corner. Now, it shows us what the different versions will include up here, and we can try or buy these collections, but we can also go down to Show All Collections, and what we're going to have here is the ability to go to the Tone Partners collections that are available on ToneNet, and you'll notice here that if I click here and type in my name, what you'll see is all the available tone model collections that I have available. So we could come down to something like the Fried Sister Double Cream here. And even though we've maxed out our 20 tone models to import within Tonex CS, we can still come here, try these tone models out. Now you notice I'm trying them, demoing them. I have 30 minutes to give these a try. I could either listen to them with the demos, or I could grab any one of these and grab my guitar. And then if I liked what I heard, I could decide to purchase those, and it'd take me over here to where I could check out. You'll notice that I have the collection that I chose right here. I can head to the checkout process. I can log in with my username and password. And you'll notice here it says I have 5 jam points available. Now I can only use that for a small percentage of this. I believe it'll only allow me to use one of those here. And you'll notice the price goes down to $7.99. I could put my pertinent information in here. I went through the whole checkout process, and now I have my collection. You'll notice here it gives me a serial number, which I'm going to blur out for this particular video. Now you'll notice when I come back over to Tonex, it asks me to please click Restore Purchases. The actual settings window automatically pops up. Please click Restore Purchases after completing your purchase. I'm going to do that, and that's going to populate my collections with my new purchases. So we'll just let that run. You'll notice it says downloading owned tone models, and that's it. Now, if that didn't automatically pop up, we can always come back up to our little hamburger button to our account tab and hit Restore Purchases ourselves. Now, if we go back over here to Home, you're going to notice that in my collections here, under my tone models, I have a Partner Collections tab. Now, I click that, and you'll see that I have this owned collection now, which is my Fried Sis Double Cream, and I can use this as I see fit. And I could even edit this. I can add some reverb, create a preset. Now, a preset is different than a tone model. Basically, I've downloaded a tone model here. You'll notice if I go to the preset tab, I don't see any of that here. I see the imported third-party presets, which are also my presets, but ones that aren't available over on the Tone Partners ToneNet site. So over here, I can come in here and I can add some verb. Let's say I wanted to bring the post compressor in. And let's say I wanted to add a bit of this tape delay. And let's say I wanted to add a noise gate. So now I've created a particular signal chain, which I can now save as a preset. So I could create a custom folder, and I could call them Jay's Tones. And I can come in here and call it Fried Sister. And I could actually say that I like this for electric guitar, solid body on the bridge pickup if I so desired. I could put an artist in here if I wanted to put my own name. I could give it a description. I can save that as a preset. Now, when we go to the preset tab, you're going to see that I now have this preset, which is going to recall with all those settings. Different than a tone model. I can reset this back to just the raw tone model without noise gate, compression, modulation, delay, reverb. But if I come back over to my preset, I can always come in here, recall. That preset exactly as I saved it. Now, the great part about this is if we go up to the Collections tab and we go back and browse the collections that are available, I can come in here now to the Partners, can come down and filter it just to mine and what's available. And here you'll see all of my different collections, and you can try or purchase those from here. The nice thing, even with Tonex CS free version, we have unlimited collections we can purchase. It's not limited to the 20. As you saw, I had already maxed out my 20 tone models, but I was still able to purchase collections. So if you just wanted a really easy way to enter the Tonex ecosystem, get your free Tonex CS and just purchase what add-ons you want if you didn't want to necessarily go buy all of the Tonex Max. So quite a nice way to work if we are so inclined. So a little bit about importing presets though as well. We can come up into our little preset name window here. And when we click that, it gives us the ability to import presets. What will pop up is a window that will allow us to import. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to do this. This is a third-party preset. It's going to give me my limitation we've already reached. But that is one way to import presets, or we could also simply just drag and drop presets in from a folder. And that's already a preset I had in there, so it allowed me to work that way. So that's how we would import presets. But let's say that I was kind of tired of this limitation and I wanted to do more. Well, what happens then is we could go and purchase the upgraded version of Tonex. So we could come in here and I could click any of these buy buttons, which is going to take me to the product page. So let's do that right now. Let's get a license for Tonex Max and I'll show you how we can work with that. So I now have a license for Tonex Max, and what I'm going to do again is come back to Product Manager, and up here in the top right corner, Register button, I am going to click this and it's going to ask me to put the serial number in. So I'm going to enter my serial number for my Tonex Max license. Once I have that in there, I hit Register. And you'll notice now it says registered, and it says Tonex Max is registered correctly. So now what you'll notice is Tonex Max is replaced Tonex CS. So now if we come back over to Tonex, we can come up to all tone models, hit owned only, and now what you'll notice is all of these are now unlocked. And I also will not have the limitation on importing other third-party presets. So if I hit import preset, I could now come in here and import something like my latest Z-Ray Ultimate collection, which is available at the link below my website. Click that, and you'll notice those are in there. I can come in here to date added, either up or down, descending or ascending order, and you'll notice here that I have this new collection in here as well. A real favorite set of tone models of mine. So that's great. Now we've unlocked that limit of 20. We can still go purchase collections from the partners like the ones I have up here. We can still try them, but now we've unlocked many more tones, all from the Tonex Max collection here. You can see now they all have green check marks because we own those. And again, if I go down to my own collections, you'll notice the ones I own will have green check marks as well. So that is a really great feature as well to know, kind of keep track of exactly what it is we own. Now, if you did upgrade to Tonex Max and nothing updated so that the new additions weren't there, we would again come up to our little hamburger settings button in the top right, go to account and hit restore purchases, and that will get us up and running. So another great feature that we have that we can utilize for both tone models and presets. And again, keep in mind that tone models and presets are different. The tone model is the raw tone model as captured without any of the sweeteners, reverb, delay, modulation, compressor, noise gate. If we do add those in and we want to recall those settings, we save it as a preset, and then that becomes a preset which will show up over in the preset tab. We can also have folders, custom folders for both tone models and presets. So I could say I wanted to add certain specific ones here. I can actually come in here and using my command button, holding it down, select multiple ones, drag them over to the particular folder so that then they actually exist in there. Now, deleting them from the folder, if I was to come in here and say I want to actually delete this, I come up to the little garbage can button here and I click that, and it's going to ask me if I want to delete that from the library or just from the folder. So unless you don't want to lose that tone model altogether, you just remove it from the folder, but we'll still have that outside of the folder. And we can do that for presets as well. So I could come in here and say Jay's presets, right? And I could drag these into there as well. And again, if I get rid of it, delete from library or remove from folder. Now you'll notice in presets here as well, I can come over, and when I hover over it, I have an info button, which is going to give me everything I need to know about that preset. I can rename the preset. I can export the preset to a different folder. If I've made changes to the preset, let's say I adjusted the gain and the depth, and I want to revert back to the pre-changes, I can click that and you'll notice it revert back to where it started. I can also delete, and I can also favorite these so that they will show up under my favorites folder over here. We have similar things on tone models. If we come over to the tone model tab, and again, this is just the raw tone model. If I reset that, it resets all of the sweeteners back to just as the tone model was captured. But again, we can hover over this. We can get info about that particular tone model. It's a guitar, amp, and cab, the name, who made it, whether it's a free or premium tone model as far as IK is concerned, the amp name, the character channel, the cab name, cab configuration, microphone, anything else that the tone model creator put in there. We can also edit the skin, which is kind of cool. If we just liked a different skin for that particular tone model, that works there as well. We can do that. If we own these, if it's one we made, we could upload it to ToneNet. Now, because this is a separate account from mine, I can't do that. But if I click that button, it would give us the option to be able to upload to ToneNet. And I can also trash it, like I showed you, and either delete from library or remove from folder. Or I could star this so it's also going to be under my favorites. Another nice little button here is this little arrow that we can either have just a full list of the tone models without seeing the actual amp skin. We could have either way depending on how you want to use your screen real estate. We also have the modeler tab, and this is going to be how I've talked about this in many videos, how we're going to create our tone models. And we have a librarian tab. If we have a registered Tonex or Tonex 1 pedal, we could actually come in here, hook it up, and be able to transfer to and from the pedal, but I've also covered that in many other videos. So I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to cover in this video. I hope that that was somewhat helpful. All right, there you have it. I hope that that was useful, and I hope I didn't miss anything. If there's any other questions, leave them for me below in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer. But I'm hoping that what I covered in today's video will help a lot of people get up and running and using Tonex in a really streamlined way that's going to get them what they need out of it. So thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I upload new content. And I'm going to leave you with a demo video for one of my latest tone model collections, which is available at the link below at my website. If you're so inclined and want to go grab it, I do appreciate the support. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk very soon. Ciao for now.